Hi, ma'am. Good afternoon. Yeah, you are audible.
Hi.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
joining in. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm there. I'll just switch off my video and my
Absolutely.
unmute it for some.
Absolutely fine.
Thank
We are
you.
just waiting for one more member to join in, and we'll start the session. Thank you, ma'am.
No worries. Thank you.
Yes, you can start. I guess they will be joining. I
They'll be
just know
joining.
yes.
Okay. Thank you, Naveen, for reaching out and then checking me for me. Thank you so much. So we'll start the session. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone.
Recording
So,
in progress.
Very good afternoon, everyone. So before I further go ahead with the session, just I'll quickly introduce or quickly talk about why are we here. So today being 29th of July, it's a very special day. Reason is because we all know that we have completed 3 years of the new education policy, which is very fondly called as NEP 2020. So NEP 2020 focuses on many aspects, and one of the things which is having a special emphasis on fostering 21st century skills. And that's where the school leaders, as you all, you play a very important role in ensuring that those skills are being built for the school students and they are future ready. So with the same kind of objective, we from BrightCHAMPS has taken an initiative. We are running today a Bright Talks marathon. We are having a parallel Bright Talk sessions going on, wherein we are covering different aspects and different themes of NEP. Okay, so that's the reason we have been joining here. So myself, Bhavna Chaube, a very senior instructor at BrightCHAMPS, is here, and with me joining is Jessy ma'am. She's a principal at Chaitanya International School. Simran ma'am is there. She's principal of Trinity International School. And we have Mridula.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, ma'am.
Yeah.
I'm Simran Kaur, principal Podar International School.
I'm so very sorry. So Simran ma'am, I'm so sorry for that. Okay. Yeah. So you are the principal for Podar International School. Yes. And Mridula ma'am, she's a very renowned corporate trainer and has more than a decade of experience in her field. So thank you everyone for joining and welcome all. Okay. So before we start with the session, I'll just quickly talk about BrightCHAMPS, what BrightCHAMPS we do, and a short video just to reflect on what I'll be discussing. So about BrightCHAMPS, coming to BrightCHAMPS, it's a leading edtech company, an organization that has innovative programs related to entrepreneurship, coding, robotics, and financial literacy for students from kindergarten to grade 12. Okay, so please allow me to just share a short video. I'll quickly play that video to just reflect on what I just mentioned, and from there on, we will start the session. Okay, so please allow me to share my screen and we'll start the session. Is that everyone able to see my screen, please?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'll just play this quick video. Yeah, so that was just a short video showing some happy students, how they are experiencing when after going through our learning programs. So this was just a quick video and talking about what we as a BrightCHAMP, as an organization, what we are doing. Okay. Now, coming back to the objective for which we all are here. So NEP 2020, we know that the National Education Policy was approved 3 years back, 29 July 2020. The education policy is actually very comprehensive, futuristic, but many of its aspect or many of its success thing are just lying on how it is implemented and executed. So that's where you all, as a pioneer of this journey, are playing an important role when it comes to the implementation and execution at the school level for the students so that they can be future ready. So what I would do is I would like to start the discussion with an opening question to everyone. Just we can start with it. So I probably would say that is like, what's the progress has been made so far, and what is the recommendations have been followed in the school when it comes to NEP 2020? How are we aligned? So I'm just opening the panel for the discussion. Thank you. To start with, maybe Jessy ma'am, can you share your insight for this, please?
Good afternoon, everybody. It's lovely to be here sharing my views. NEP has started 3 years, you can say from 3 years, all the principals are given a lot of workshops and awareness about the way it is going to happen. Still, I can say that we could not even achieve whatever targets given or whatever points cited in the NEP. I wonder how many of us are able to do justice, at least 25% of it. If to be open, I find openly, if I speak, when I place myself as a principal in a school, I doubt if I could do at least 25% justice to the plannings and the quotings that is mentioned in the NEP. And there are various reasons for the same. So if I'm allowed to speak about the reasons behind it, justifications behind it, I would really suggest.
Oh, yes,
and I would
please.
really speak
Yes,
about
please.
it.
Practical challenges. Yeah.
Yes. What practical challenges as it begins, everything, the entire school affairs totally depend on the staff, the teaching staff we say about. So
True.
the first challenge that I find is the teachers themselves. When NEP was prepared, it has a lot of wonderful ideas, a lot of flexibility. Students will have, it is student-centric learning system, where the students will have a lot of opportunity to be, globalized, I can say. So in order to do all those things practically, we need good, strong team of teachers.
Very true.
See, these team of teachers, whoever we have right now, they may be, some of them are experienced with the former understanding. Some of them are freshers. But every time it's a challenge for the principal to train the teachers according to what NEP suggests and what NEP has to do for the students, to make the teachers understand, equip them with all sorts of knowledge and their readiness. It is the biggest challenge a principal. I think not only myself face, almost all the principals, they face the same thing. So we have a lot of strategies. Some of the strategies, when we want to train the teachers, we may not be able to, somewhere we have to give less focus, somewhere we have to give more focus. So that's why I told you that the 25% justice also we could not do. The biggest point, it comes and stands on the teachers. Are our teachers ready to implement, execute the planning which is mentioned in the NEP? So this is the biggest challenge, and I'm not at all, negative about it. I'm very positive about it. It's time. It will take time. It will take time. It is a challenge for the principal, and if the principal is aware about it, definitely we are going to make a difference even in the teachers. So this is my personal opinion.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for talking so openly about the ground reality. I mean, rather than just showing us that it's just a hunky-dory. So we understand it's something new, and teachers, like it's a very diverse group where we have some set of teachers who have some habit of continuing years and years for the conventional teaching method, and then we have some freshers who have joined in. So yes, I hear you that you're talking about that adaptability and the flexibility. That is one thing that has to be looked upon. So yes, this is one thing to start with. Probably I would like to hear from Simran ma'am. What's your experience in your school? How do you see the implementation going in? And after 3 years, how is the progress so far in your school?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah.
Every panelist, we all are here to discuss about am I audible properly? Voice is audible. I would like to discuss, as Jessy ma'am has already said, about her practical difficulties. So the way we are in, definitely education and learning is a continuous process. It cannot be said that once the policy has been made and it will be done overnight, or it will not take time. Definitely the challenges are there, but we must thank the pandemic, which has given us very challenging environment. At the same time, we have trained our teachers. We have molded our teachers accordingly. We started our journeys, as we know that NEP started July 2020. At the same time, that year was year with the pandemic challenges. But we, the leaders and the teachers, they only kept this the life open. The life was going on just because of the educational leaders. They had taken such a big challenge, and every house, we made every house was a school. We presented ourselves in such a way that the learning was ongoing process, whatever way it was, but we tried our best. Every child was learning, every child, every parent was along with their parents. So challenges are there, and I would like to tell you that since I'm in Podar Group is one of the renowned group where we have more than 152 schools, and here we have the teaching learning pattern is very systematic. We have everything aligned. We have our the entire process begins right from the beginning till end, and we are since having a brand, maintaining that brand, and answering to the head office. That is our challenge. So we are supposed to give our 100%. I know all are giving 100%, but at the same time, whatever challenges are coming, we are supposed to overcome. And, we try our best. Whereas I see myself that we have up to 50%, we have reached to whatever, challenges, whatever plan has been given by NEP. If we are supposed to consider that whether we are having the multidisciplinary way of teaching or not, whether we are supposed to give critical thinking, experiential learning, whatever NEP has given, that was there, but it has now it has been, we are putting a more emphasis on such things where we can show that learning, the things which were orthodox were going on, that has been unlearned, and we have started relearning the way we are supposed to learn. We have put more emphasis on conceptualized based understanding learning, critical thinking, art integrated way of learning. All those things we have brought it to our syllabus curriculum, and based on that we have aligned, planned, and from last year onwards, as we last year itself 2021 only we started having the regular teaching started, and we have reached a level where we can say, yes, we are up to 50%.
Great.
Still, we have a long way to go. And we are in the process of working in that
Thank
direction.
you so much, ma'am. So before we further continue, I just noticed that Dr. Ashwini has joined. So Ashwini ma'am is a principal at Bal Seva English Medium CBSE school. So welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, so ma'am, I'm not sure whether you, very good afternoon. So I'm not sure whether you got a chance to hear from others. So what we did is we just started with a discussion, and the very objective was that is because today on 29th of July, we have just completed 3 years of our new education policy. So we as a BrightCHAMP EdTech organization have taken an initiative where we are connecting with the school leaders who are the pioneers of the journey, and how they are able to take this forward for the implementation of this policy, and what kind of challenges are they facing. So we started with an opening question: how is the progress so far in the various schools, and is there a realistic expectation from NEP policy, or is there any specific challenge in their respective schools? So in the same light, ma'am, if you would like to share your experience in your school, please.
Yes, sure, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Very good afternoon, all of you. I, Dr. Ashwini Pansare, Principal of the Bal Seva English Medium School since 4 years. Today only we have completed 3 years for NEP 2020. So I would like to give a heartfelt thank you for giving me the wonderful opportunity to share my views on NEP 2020 on the different topics like foundational literacy, financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and national education policy, how it will be impactful for the students' learning, what are the best learning outcomes, what are the teaching learning process we have to implement in the CBSE school. Nowadays, every day it's a challenging task because from CBSE, every day it's a new circular. They are declaring the new circular, new education policies, and new tasks to complete in the school level as well as in the higher education systems. So the overall development of the children's from foundational preparatory stage up to the higher education, we have to cater the technology. And nowadays in a school, since 2 years only, means during since the online education and even from the hybrid learning to the completely offline education, it includes the all kind of programs like STEM. We all know the STEM: science, technology, mathematics, and engineering. So all kind of management, all kind of technologies, how to use the AI robotics in our school. So this is very required, and for that we have to collaborate with each other. Because uh, in olden times, if we consider the infrastructure in all the schools, there is no specific STEM lab and no specific infrastructure is available as per the bylaws as well. But now CBSE is also asking the compulsory to uh, CBSE is asking compulsory to uh, complete all the tasks in during your school levels. So for that we have to collaborate with the different types of institutions, like they can easily provide the all types of education, and with the help of that we can increase the study level very innovative. We can ask students to develop their knowledge, and with the help of different design thinking skills, various disciplines, particular professional programs we can conduct in our school level. And if we collab, if we consider in our school level, it's not possible because of the parents mob. And sometimes I can say, if the school management is not ready to perform all kinds of activities, because every day we are looking that every day it's a means new is coming. So practically it's not possible because NEP 2020 also says that learning by doing. But according to
Inquiry based
the
learning.
yes, according to the school hours consideration, teachers efficient for the say the different the multidisciplinary way is very important between the different. So for that we can push for different competition for different them to
Community
progress the personally at the
building. Yeah.
yes come at
Recording in progress.
teaching strategies and from trainings from the learner, lifelong learner, and relearn and learn is very
True.
important to uh, remove the
Barriers. Yeah.
gap. Yes, to remove the gap between old education system and what the NEP says. conventional method of learning.
For sharing. Rupali ma'am has also is principal of Trinity International. The same question I would ask, like, what's your experience in school in terms of what has been changed in your school to build the capacity and having enough resources so that the recommendations are
Thank you
happening?
so much, ma'am. And it's a complete honor to be on this panel. NEP actually has, made it very, very simple for all of us to follow, and it does not demand any type of expensive or extraordinary resources. What NEP is trying to do is, because they're trying to get every child at every level into the main education system. So first, what they're talking about national stage. So the basic thing that any school could do is make that stage as one department, because generally had the pre-primary, and then from grade 1 to grade 5, we had the primary. So the first step we took was foundational stage, which is from nursery to
What kind of hand holding is required for teachers, and what kind of training should be there in place, and plus when it comes to based learning, practical learning. So any recommendations with the relevant industry tie-up with the schools? So any insight, ma'am, from you, Bridula ma'am?
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, when it comes to a particular, FDP, the faculty development programs that I talk about, or probably I go through, there are a lot of teachers, even Simran ma'am has mentioned, or that, unlearning and relearning is something which comes as a gap, not from the student side, not from the parents, but from the teachers itself. Because for me, if that is my major clientele that I have to cater to, okay, the first thing that I need to understand is open is a particular teacher with relearning and getting back to the roots. Like Rupali ma'am clearly said, yes, we are going back to our roots, okay, but the innovative way. You really don't need a lot of things. However, you need a broad vision. With our old stuff, we need a broader vision to it. When I'm talking about a hybrid mode of learning, be it the online, be it the offline, be it the practical approach to things, all of these things are completely considered when we talk about the NEP. All right. When I talk about NEP, apart from the academics, you have the extracurriculars, the co-curriculars, and everything else which builds up now the grade system of the child in the school. So considering those things, when there are few teachers or when there are a few faculties who still feel academics need the major chunk of responsibility from the teacher or from a brighter side, for not just for a school, but even for a student, even for a parent. So accepted, my child might not be A+ everywhere. However, my child is definitely good with something else where the other kids are not. So equality towards everything is what this policy is all about, is what I understand. And yes, when I talk about the FDPs and things, or when I have to train the teachers onto that, a few people with that rigid mindset, until and unless that goes away, it's very difficult to implement, the new laws or new ways of learning.
Very true.
That's exactly right.
We can't open the gateways with having our own barriers in place.
Absolutely. You need to let go. Keep your hands empty so that
True.
get the new.
Yes. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this. And coming to this point, so I remember we were talking about pandemic, and that's when the pandemic happened. Immediately, in a very short period of time, it was needed for schools to switch from offline mode to online. And that's where even teachers were there. So they started with whatever the knowledge they had on online education. And I'm sure everybody will agree that parents played a very important role there. They became a teacher aide in ensuring they were like a kind of assistants in the classroom to ensure that the students are focusing, they are following what has been asked for, and they are doing the activities that has been asked. Because for all of us, it was a very new and unique experience. So my question would be, we understood that yes, parents have a critical role to play when it comes to any implementation in the whole education ecosystem. So what kind of initiatives as school leaders are taking to ensure that they are one of the stakeholders and they are very much part of the community? And also, ma'am, if before I move it to others, Mridula ma'am, if you want to share any specific thing, like what kind of support we should expect or from parents to ensure that, yes, we get better in our education ecosystem.
Okay, so this is my regular thing, Bhavna ma'am, that I usually talk when it comes to, training the teachers or talking to the parents. All right. A child usually spends around 8 hours of their life or a daily lifetime in schools. However, the remaining 16 and the 24 is spent at home.
Yeah.
Okay. They definitely expect the schools and the teachers to just be there with the child, like a shadow, understand, do things, etc., which is right. It is definitely a job of a teacher. However, you do not deny the 2:1 ratio. If the child is spending 1/3 of their day in school, the 2/3 is spent at home. Probably if you're a working mother, then maybe in a daycare, or if your child comes home supervision, so definitely at home. But eventually the 2/3 of the time that we talk about is spent at home. So what is the kind of contribution that the child gets from home, from the daycare, from their particular tuitions or extra classes that they are taking? The teacher is definitely doing her job and doing it for those 20, 30 or 40 students in every class. But what about the parents? Where is their involvement? However, as you rightly said, during pandemic, it was fantastic, because this was something which was back to school edition for me, when I
True.
had to, train.
Oh yeah,
I had
I
to
would
train
agree.
them.
Yes, true.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
as a fun part, I would definitely say, karma strikes back. Maybe you did not learn well in school, you're doing it again. So, yes, I mean, keeping jokes apart, teaching them how exactly would they, go ahead with the online, the technology. If I talk about different platforms such as Zoom, I talk about Google Meet. These were the platforms which were used the most by schools.
Exactly.
There is Microsoft Teams, of course, but I'm not sure if, a lot of teachers and parents are used to it, especially for schools. Where you could do a screen recording, where you could, share notes, you could do a lot of chatting, you could take screenshots. There were quite a lot of things which helped. At one point in time, from parents saying that, a lot of screen time is not good for you. From there, they moved on to the maximum time on screen timing. And when screen timing came into picture, it was a good screen time and a bad screen time that we
Exactly.
spoke about. In a good screen time, what are the other things that they had to develop? And as a teacher, if my faculties have to make the learning more, fun, more involving and more engaging, what are the kind of activities? Maybe for a class 2, maybe for a class 4, maybe for a class 10. So these were the kind of, trainings which were given to the teachers at that point in time. So to get some games which I use online, where the child can click, go on to a particular app, see these are the questions and how he would answer. It could be more like a competition. So until and unless there is an involvement between the parent, the child, and the teacher, learning wouldn't be fun.
True, true. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So Simran, ma'am, probably I would like to hear it from you, like what as a school initiative to ensure that parents are involved and parents are the part of the close community, and what other kind of support is needed from parents to ensure that, yes, we are moving ahead and doing better. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for another question. A very relevant and very important question. As we all know, parents are the very important stakeholder. When we talk about education, education merely means that partnership in education. It is not, it's in extreme possible to expect education without parents' support. Parents are the, the maximum support we expect from the parents, because anything happens, we are required to intimate the parents. So here we take the support from the parents the way that we take their review.
True.
That what is your view about the education which is going on during pandemic. Also, we were asking them constantly. We used to send them survey forms that, the survey form in a form of 50%. Do you agree that the teacher is able to reach out your child. And then the parents who are having their, they are having the expertise. Suppose a parent is expert in their expertise as a doctor. So we call as a special, invitee in the school, and we keep their lecture. We tell the parents to come forward, take the initiative, and be part of the organization. And then the parent is from the law practitioner. Then we just give them education that way. If they are in the the other defense services, then also we call them and just keep the record that they can be support system to the school. And along with that, we are having frequent meeting with the parents, class meetings. Like every class is having their own meeting at every month end, or if it is required early also. And the teacher must prepare a portfolio of a child, the strength and weaknesses of the children. The moment you see the child, the teacher knows the child so well, the teacher can very well talk about the child to the parent. And if 5 points are there, out of 5, at least 3 to 4 has to be positive, and then only you can put it in the other way around, that your child needs to improvise. And that is how we were expecting the parents. And personally, when I talk to the parents, I tell them that you are the role model. The teachers, as ma'am has, Mridula ma'am has said, that the 2/3 more than us, they see you, what you do, how you behave, what you do, what sanskara you are giving it to their children. The way you present yourself, your children will also do the same. If you expect your child should not use a proper language you want the child should use, you should also use that particular language. Then you can expect a child can be a very good citizen, or he or she. Beside that, I always talk to the parents and say that whether your child become an engineer or doctor or a professional or not, but your child has to be a very good citizen of the country, or very good human being first. Because unless and until the child is a good human being, child will not able to channelize whatever energies the child is having. So during pandemic, we came to know the parents they play a very important role. And later part again, they came and say the screen time, as Mridula ma'am has said, that right from the more screen time to less screen time, and now we are expecting the children should not use mobile. So now we are supposed to teach them that what are the do's and don'ts. Instead of telling them, instead of telling them that don't use, we are supposed to tell them do's and don'ts, and cyber security, and the various extended way of teaching that what are the ways they can utilize the mobile phone, how it can be boon or how it can be harmful to them.
Very nice.
This is how we take their support, and parents were very, very, happy to be participant of this. And PTA meeting is one of the very integral part, which is mandatory from Maharashtra government or all the governments, that they are supposed to be part of the organization for the betterment of the organization, and they are supposed to give their views about the organization. Wherever we go, they see that we are little less, they immediately just intervene, and they tell us, ma'am, here we require to improvise ourselves. So our services are on screen or throughout the time. Bus services, whether we are giving academic services, transportation, whatever we give, that is hand in hand. We understand whether it is going on well or not. And pandemic ka hi den hai that WhatsApp has become a very integral part, which is immediately we send a message, and immediately we get the answers, and we are able to correct the wherever it is required as per the need and requirement. So I think parents are very important for any educational organization. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. So yes, so taking forward from Simran, ma'am, so it is a paradigm shift. Earlier, we were talking about like no screen time at all, and now we have moved, rather than restricting them with no screen, it's more focused toward quality screen time. So that's what we are focusing on. So Jessy ma'am, probably I would like to hear from you or your insight. How is the experience in school when it comes to technology integration? What kind of support you get from parents when it comes to technology integration? And also, I think pandemic created a reason wherein we all realized that yes, technology integration is the need of the hour. We need to be relevant in the ecosystem, and it has to be change is the something which has to be needed, like, right? We have to be flexible and keep implementing the new things, what is coming in place. So Internet of Things. So in your school, or what kind of experience you face for the technology integration, and what support you get from parents as one of the stakeholder, ma'am? Jessy, ma'am.
Okay, okay. That's a very nice. Once again, the question is, it all depends. See, I was listening to all the principals, honorable ladies who were talking about their own school and what they are doing. I make a little different, I feel that I'm a little different from their side, because my school is situated in a very remote area where maximum people are hardcore farmers. The parents have less understanding about the use of technology. Of course, during the pandemic time, the parents, they were, forced to use the technology because they knew that their children could not attend the schools. So I could say that half-minded, they thought that it's the need, and they had to, some of them pulled money from here and there, and they bought all the devices at home. They made the children attend the classroom learning, in the school, at home itself. But as soon as the pandemic got over, so they were waiting when this would come to an end. Even those days, they thought that, when this technology, when this mobile connection or digital learning, when will it come to an end? Many of the parents would come and ask, or they would ask when it will. They were impatient about it. That why should education should go digitally? So that was their understanding. So as I told, that they were waiting that when this would come to an end. What does it mean? That yes, they were not very happy with the thing. It was helplessly they were doing. But later half, when we stopped and students started coming to school, they were very quick in taking a decision that there should not be any mobile use at home, because they are in the school and you will have to teach. But now we as teachers and we are leaders, we know that is technology cannot now go away from the system. It has got enrooted into educational system. In fact, education should have technology with it. Otherwise, in future days, we all will lag behind if we say that we are not going to use technology. So making the parents understand about the importance, why education needs technology. So that is one of the challenge that I face with the parents. When we talk about the parents, whether they have money, sometimes they don't have money to buy devices, so that's a different thing. We also arrange in schools also. So now as we are talking about the challenges, it's not that whatever good things we are doing in the school, actually the discussion is all about the challenges that we are facing. So I would stress it on again on the challenge factor only. What are the challenges that we are facing and how we are sorting out these challenges? So now, as that you have told that how you are convincing the parents, or how are the parents ready to accept now? Yes, definitely now in these 2 years, parents have come to an understanding. Yes, technology has to be in the education system, so that we teachers and the principals, we could do that. So a certain extent, we could brainwash the parents. Yes, technology, without technology, education will become little difficult for them to do. So parents, of course, their cooperation is there, not only in India, all over the world. Parents' attitude towards education system that has changed, and they are in a supportive mode, and that is the benefit that we right now are going to have, that the parents community are in support of the technology and all the new practices that every school is conducting or involving. So the plus point is that the parents are now getting, we can say they're in unison with the school ideas, views about technology. So these are the major challenges which we are facing. But of course, apart from staying in a remote area and associated hurdles, I don't think that NEP has created any difficulties to any school, because as all the principals have, not a single principal would tell that the NEP it is going wrong or it doesn't have anything in it. It is the best thing that ever an education system could adopt, the insight of
exactly. I couldn't
NEP.
agree more
And
about it. Yeah, like, because education
Yes,
policy says that what has to be done, but how it has to be done.
Yes.
It is up to
How
the
it has to
school
be
initiative and the resources available. And also, I think it is open enough wherein it is, when we are talking about community, it is expecting some kind of support from the state and national level. That is, whatever resources school leaders are short of, please connect with us and we will be happy to have. So
And
even
one more
there's
thing I would tell you that now parents, we sent information to the parents through WhatsApp, and although through the WhatsApp messages mainly, we sent information to the parents, and we take care that what information we give, those are liked by the parents, and they are in utility not only for the students but also for the parents.
Yeah.
So that parents are attracted towards what we are doing in the school. So this is one way that we could fill the gap between their differences and our opinions.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. In the interest of time, probably I'll just quickly take it from here to Rupali, ma'am. So Rupali, ma'am, when it comes to NEP policies and recommendations, and one of the things that NEP focuses or emphasizes on the collaborative working. We heard it from Jessy, ma'am, what kind of challenges she's facing because of all the possible reasons or whatever the reasons she has for the location of the school. Probably I would like to hear what's the best practices are being followed in your school to ensure that, yes, all the stakeholders are involved, and what kind of best practices have been implemented in the school to ensure that the initiatives of NEPs have been implemented in the school, ma'am. Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, I do understand because of the different demographics or where our schools are located, and we do face challenges. I also have another branch of Trinity in a place called Vaduz, which is kind of at a remote place close to Satara. And I do get the difference when I'm looking at my Pune school, and I go and interact with the parents there also. But when we talk about, and even before, long before the NEP came into existence, CBSE is also always initiated and taken care of these hub of schools. Hub of schools was nothing but wherein few schools formed a group, and then what resources you had in ample, you could share with some other school, and what that school has, you could go and share it for yourself. So every school, you don't need to even have a hub of schools these days. If few schools come together, maybe I have a bigger ground, I share my ground with another school for their games and other practices.
Right.
If that school has good labs, I go to them and do my practicals and other things done. If my school has a good math teacher or a language teacher, I do share that teacher with that school, or I do share certain resources made by my school with that teacher. And if that school has something, that my school doesn't have, so then they will do it. So vice versa, I think if we pool in together,
Yeah.
and also pull in the parents also together, the golden triangle today is very, very important, wherein the parents and the teachers are at the two different base corners, and the tip of the triangle is always the child. So to complete that golden triangle, all three stakeholders coming together, and because the school and the parents both are working in the benefit of the child. So obviously, keeping the child into consideration, keeping the child as a topmost priority everywhere, we have to try and sort and find out ways and means how we can help our children, and what are the resources that I can get from maybe through collaboration, or through tying up with different schools or things like that. So we need to come up and try and implement these innovative things, so that we can try and give the best to the students of our own schools.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So Ashwini, ma'am, probably as we talked about, it has to be a close-knitted system where all the stakeholders are involved. And we are talking about collaborative working. So yes, so it is like, rather than working in silos or working as an individual entity, it is needed that we all share our best practices. So what happened in your school when it comes to training and ensuring that all the teachers are now up with the technology, and technology integration is there? Because it's been realized now that it's a need of the hour. We talk about artificial intelligence, we talk about financial literacy, because these are the things that will help in building some life skills in the students and be future ready. So any kind of the training in your school for the teachers, ma'am?
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Good question. Just now, Rupali ma'am said that it's a really great thing that CBSE already provided the hub of learning. If the material and infrastructure related things are not available, so we can communicate with the hub groups. And definitely we try to reach our goal to development for the development of children. But nowadays, one more task we are facing that about the teachers, because even if we look up teachers are also lacking somewhere because they are also not work in the current education system. They simply want, means frankly I'm saying that they simply want the big package and all, but even they are not habitual and familiar with the current technical education and whatever the things parents expecting from the teachers, so teachers are not able to fulfill, and automatically it will uh, come to us as a leader. So as a leader we have to handle it at any cost, at any ways, because some number of teachers have done their B.Ed course in the pandemic situation, so even they are not aware about how to write on the board writing. So these kind of trainings also we have to provide for teachers. Then only we can teachers and provide the good education to the childrens. At the same times, even in my school is also, means from laborer and all IT, hardly 5 to 10% parents are educated and from IT background. Me also facing a lot of issues related to the current education system and technology and all. If I want to collaborate, if I want to implement some new things in my school, so for that, and even my school is under minority, so fee structure and all this is very less comparative to other CBSE school. So if we want to conduct some kind of activity like smart planetarium for the good admin, these are the different kind of tasks. So first I have to conduct the training for parents. And it's a really very important that first we have to teach parents that why technical education is important nowadays. Then only in future your child can achieve something. And yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
So
thank you for
parent
sharing
training
this.
is also very important at the same time of continuous development training for teachers as well as leaders, because as a leader we are also taking participating in different kind of principal conclaves. CBSE also providing number of trainings, free online trainings, offline trainings. So it will come to automatically we can grasp easily, but for implementation in the school is a really big task.
Yes.
Because firstly we have to change the parents mindset.
Thank you, ma'am. So here, if I just see all of you were speaking and then I was just noting down if anything to be summarized. The very first thing, yes, when it comes to NEP recommendations, we all agree and accept it's not a single person job or a single entity job. It has to be a kind of collaborative working where all the required stakeholders are aware of what is the recommendations, what we have to achieve, what's the objective and goal out of it. Because we see one side, the other schools, those are become the brand ambassador for the education system. And there are other who are struggling with the basic things wherein parents are not aware of why technology itself has been introduced. Wherein I'm very sure they must be using GPay and Paytm to do their transactions. So it's just not able to relate. Yes, when it comes to as basic as the transaction. So yes, their kids have to be future ready. It's not just doing what we are doing for the last decades. So this is the first thing, that is awareness has to be created among all the stakeholders. That is one thing. And second thing, probably, as again, I've been emphasizing on NEPs, one of the recommendation of collaborative working. That's where probably in the close proximity, wherever the schools are working and wherever it is possible to connect with each other and share the resources and the best practices, so that wherever the schools are lacking some kind of resources, they are also benefited, and it's an exchange of information, which I'm very sure is one of the life skill even students will be able to build upon. So I think that is one thing. Yeah, so creating awareness, working in collaborative system. And yes, the last thing is we see the teaching staff, the school leaders, it's a diverse group to ensure the grip, we know it's been 34 years and the new education policy. So there's a big gap. It has to be bridged. So first and foremost thing, before students and parents, we as a school leaders and teachers have to be open, flexible, and adaptable to the need so that we can be a role model for everybody. And yes, I'll conclude this. It's not a single entity or a single person job. Everybody has to work together in this ecosystem to make the education better and in line with the universal system. So I will conclude the discussion here. Thank you for your valuable information and time. It was really a good insight and got to know a lot of things. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you. So we can just leave the session. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
you so much for the opportunity, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhavna ma'am. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
And thank you everyone. Wonderful discussion and a lot of eye-opening discussion took place, and it's a wonderful session. Thank you once again, ma'am, for the opportunity.
Thank you. My
so
pleasure.
much.
Thank you, everyone.